everyone, I am Mariana and welcome to my brand new booktube channel, Mariana Mas Books, and welcome to my first ever booktube video that is going to be the Midyear Book Freakout Tag. Maybe it's a bit weird to be doing the Midyear Book Freakout Tag as a first ever booktube video, but I'm trying not to care. I usually film videos in Spanish. I'm from Mexico, hello. I usually film videos for work all the time, so I'm used to being in front of a camera, but for some reason I am still a bit nervous, so bear with me. The first question is the best book you've read so far in 2021. I was going to say 2021, and that would be Amber and Clay by Laura Amy Schlitz. Definitely this is the best book I've read so far this year, which is interesting to me because it's a middle grade book. This year was my first year actually reading middle grade. I read them for the middle grade March challenge, and this was one of the books I read. I really loved it. It's set in ancient Greece, and it's about a little slave boy and a little girl who is daughter of someone very important, and they are on opposite sides of the war. And this book tells the story of how their stories merge, how their stories end up together. That's what the book is about, and it's one of those books that at the same time it will make your heart hurt and it will also make your heart happy and burst with joy. It's written in verse, and go read it because it's amazing. The next question is the best sequel you've read so far in 2021. For that, I am going to go with Branded by Fire by Nalini Singh, which is the 6th book in the Side Changeling series. I love that series. Nalini Singh wrote that series for me. She one day she thought, I wonder what book Mariana would like, and that's what she wrote. It's a perfect series for me. I love it. And the 6th book, Branded by Fire, is my favorite so far. I love it. I can't wait to read book 8 because I'm currently reading book 7, and unfortunately it's the first in the series that I'm not really liking. But Branded by Fire, without a doubt. The next question is new release you haven't read yet but want to. For this, I'm going to refer to my list, and I'm going to go with the books that I pre-ordered that I haven't yet read. So those are 2 fiction books and 2 non-fiction books. For the fiction books, they are Anne of Manhattan by Brina Starler and The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno García. And for non-fiction, they are When Women Invented Television by Jennifer Keishin Armstrong and Rock Me on the Water 1974, the year Los Angeles transformed movies, music, television, and politics by Ronald Brownstein. So those are 4 books I pre-ordered and I haven't gotten to yet. The next question is similar but different, and it's the most anticipated release for the next half of the year. And for this, I have many anticipated releases, but I am going to go with 5 so as not to make this video too long. And those 5 are The Bennett Women by Eden Appiah Kubi. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. Letters of Note, Dogs, compiled by Sean Osher. The Heart Principle by Helen Huang. The Ophelia Girls by Jen Healy, and Taste My Life Through Food by Stanley Tucci. This one maybe is a bit weird. I have never seen anyone mention it, but I love Stanley Tucci and I love food memoirs. So, you know, the question of this tag that says book that makes you happy, I think that book is going to make me very happy. So I can't wait. And the next question is your biggest disappointment. And for this I have to explain, because the biggest disappointment hurts my heart. So it's not that I think the book is bad. It's just, it was disappointing because I love the author so much. So the book I'm talking about is Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. As I said, it's not that it's a bad book, but I loved The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. It was my favorite book of 2020 and I absolutely loved it, and I now love and adore Anne Bronte and I want to read a biography of her and I love her. So I was expecting to really love Agnes Grey and I didn't as I wanted to. One thing could be that I read it in audiobook and the narration was not good at all. It was, I think it's the worst audiobook I have ever listened to. So that may have affected my experience, and I am planning a reread of Agnes Grey in the fall. So maybe if I read it physically, I'm going to feel a bit differently, but for now, that would be my answer. The next question is your biggest surprise. And for that, I'm going to cheat a little bit because I'm going to go with a book I am currently reading, and that is The Museum of Abandoned Secrets by Oksana Shabushko. She is an Ukrainian author. It's about a journalist that wants to make a documentary based on a photograph she found of a woman that really captivated her, and that woman is part of her family. As the book goes along, you are finding out secrets of the family and the stories of that time period from the photograph. Wow, a neighbor decided to do some construction work or something next to me. So yeah, I think I was talking about my biggest surprise, which is the Museum of Abandoned Secrets by Oksana Shabushko. I don't remember what I was saying when I got interrupted, but it has been the biggest surprise for two reasons. First, because I was not planning on reading it. I wasn't aware of it. I had never heard anyone mention it. It was a random recommendation on Kindle Unlimited. As I said, I'm currently reading it, so I can't recommend it because I don't know how it's going to end. But so far, her writing style is absolutely blowing my mind. It's written, I think it's kind of stream of consciousness, so if that's not your thing, it won't be your thing, but I am loving it. And it's a surprise because it's not my type of book. I don't usually like generational sagas, and I don't usually like literary fiction, if this can be called literary fiction. I'm more of a genre fiction reader, which is why it has been a surprise that it has been so enjoyable for me and that I'm liking it so much. The next question is favorite new author. That can be a new to you author or a debut author. For this one, I'm going to go with debut author Michelle Grierson, who wrote Becoming Leila, which was one of my pre-orders for this year that I have actually read. It was released, I think, in April, and it's in the top. It's there in the top with my favorite books. It's set in a northern fishing village. I don't know, decades ago. I don't remember what decade, but it's not in the present day. And it's following the story of a mermaid that marries a fisherman and their daughter, and it's very difficult to explain. It's a very original book. It's very different from anything I've ever read, And Michelle Grierson's writing was amazing. I loved it. In my Goodreads review, I actually wrote how the ocean plays a big part in this book, in this story, and I thought that was fitting because Michelle Grierson's writing envelops you like the ocean. It really does. I cannot explain. There was this quality of her writing that just I loved it, and I will definitely be looking out for her next novel. The next question is newest fictional crush, and I am one of those people who does get fictional crushes. Please stop shaming us and making fun of us. People who don't get fictional crushes, it's okay, it's fine. You don't have to get fictional crushes, but you don't have to make faces when you say it. Because every video I see, people are like, I don't get fictional crushes. Ew, no, fictional crushes, what's that? Stop shaming us. Let us have our fun. And my newest fictional crush is Judd Lauren from the Side Changeling series. He is not a new character. For me, he's not a new to me character. I read his book, which is the third book in the series, last year, but it wasn't until this year, in the next books in the series, that I really fell in love with him. So he's definitely one. And another one that's kind of strange is Adrian from the Museum of Abandoned Secrets. And this is strange because he's very normal. I mean, it's not like a romance type main character where they are extraordinary men or women that you don't meet in real life. This is a very real day-to-day guy. I don't know, there's something about him that makes me think that if this was real life, I would like him. And I don't know why. Anyway, so next question is newest favorite character, and that would be Seal from The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I love her. I love her so much. She's cute, she's funny, she's smart, she's kind of like a philosopher, like a tiny philosopher, and I absolutely love her. And also Rascos from Amber and Clay, who is a little slave boy that we are following. He stole my heart. I love him so much. There are certain scenes in the book that I just remember and my heart melts all over again. Okay, just 4 more questions to go. Book that made you cry. This is a funny one because I am a very emotional reader. Some would even say dramatic reader, but I don't cry. I can't physically cry, like shed tears. And this happens to me in movies and in shows and in books. I don't know why. I get really attached emotionally, and when the characters suffer, I suffer with them, and I'm not one of those readers that can just close a book and be like, okay, yeah, the story stays there. The story stays with me when I close a book, and I cannot stop reading when a character is suffering because then I am suffering all day. But for some reason I can't shed tears. But a book that really plucked my heartstrings, and as I said, it didn't physically make me shed tears, but if I could cry with books I would have, is Amber and Clay. I'm mentioning it a lot, but it's just, as I said, I remember certain parts and I'm like, book that makes you happy. I am going to go with all the books I've read from the Side Changeling series by Nalini Singh. As I've said, it's a perfect series for me. It's my favorite series currently. Not even romance series, just in general, it's my favorite series. They are not happy books. They're not books that you read and they are happy themes. But I love the world, and every time I pick up a Side Changeling book, I'm so happy. Okay, final 2 questions. The first one is the most beautiful book you've bought or received this year. So this is a box set I received because I bought it. I don't receive books. I don't get sent books from publishers or anything. So I received it because I bought it for myself. And that is a box set of The Lord of the Rings, which is my favorite series. I am rereading it currently, body reading it actually, and it's such a beautiful edition. Okay, yeah, I'm going to take out the first book and then put the covers on the screen. So as you can see, I'm currently reading it. And here it is. Here's the illustration. I had never seen this edition before, and I found it, and it was so affordable and so beautiful. And yeah, so that's the most beautiful book I've bought this year. And finally, books you have to read before the end of the year. There are so many books I want to read. There are so many, just considering the reading challenges and readathon, but I'm gonna go with the books I've bought, which I think I should prioritize. Firstly is this graphic novel called Bang Book Club by Kim Hyun-suk, a South Korean author. So this is a non-fiction graphic memoir that I'm going to read in August for the Invisible Cities project. Then there is this one, which is another memoir called Wintering by Catherine May. And it's Wintering, the Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times. And then it's this essay collection, which is the book I had chosen for the book by Eastern European author for the Reading Women Challenge. And it is Thank You for Not Reading by Dubravka Ugresik. So this one is an essay collection. I am very excited about this one because I want to read the entire backlist of this author. I checked out her Goodreads page, and I want to read everything that she has written, fiction and non-fiction. She has a lot of essay collections, so I have high hopes for it. I hope that I will love it, because if I do, then I have another author that I can explore more of her work. Then I have this poetry collection, poetry anthology, We Are Not Your Metaphor, a disability poetry anthology, and the editor is Zoe Glosia Fellows. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, this is, as I said, it's a poetry collection. And finally, Middlemarch by George Eliot. I have never read George Eliot before, and every video I've seen says do not start with Middlemarch. So what do? I go out and I buy Middlemarch because I guess I like a challenge and I really want to read it. So I am hoping to get to it maybe for October. I don't know. I don't know. It feels kind of a fallish type of book. So those are the books I've bought. As I said, I have many other books I would like to read, and that will be it for the tag. Thank you for watching my very first booktube video. I hope I didn't ramble on too much. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, I'm new to this. I'm going to link the creators of the tag, and yeah, that's it. So I'll see you on my next video. I don't know what it's going to be, and I don't know when it's going to be, but I will be here with more book talk. Thank you and have a great week.